Hello and welcome to Cooking with Craig. Today we're going to be making Shokupan, which is a fluffy Japanese bread. And we're going to make it as Japanese style as possible. The original recipe came from Kitchen Princess Bamboo. Check out her channel for a lot more authentic Japanese recipes. We're going to start with 625 grams of white flour. And to that, we're going to add some sugar and a little bit of salt. And we'll give that a mix first before we throw in the next ingredient. So we're just mixing dry ingredients in the bowl right now. Get that combined a bit, and then we're going to toss in the yeast. Give it another mix. Now, I've done a bread before, so you can refer back to the brioche recipe if you want to see how to do this all by hand. But since then, I've actually picked up a mixer with bread hook attachments. So we're going to do it the easy way, because believe me, it is so much more the easy way. So that stuff is all mixed together. We've got warm water here. I'm going to add this, about a third of the water at a time, and then mix through. And the water is warm, obviously, so we're going to give the yeast a little bit of a boost to start. And then keep mixing. The nice thing about having the mixer is that we're going to avoid the whole having to put it out on the table and knead it process, because the mixer is going to do that for us. The mixer wasn't that expensive. I will put a link in the description to all the stuff that you're seeing here today that I picked up online. I'll give you links just in case you think, hey, I'd kind of like one of those too. So we're going to give this a mix. Basically at this point we want the water to get all of the flour and ingredients wet. We're not worrying about exactly what kind of dough it is, because like I said, we're going to do it the easy way this time. So try and get all that off the spoon there. Okay, so that is basically mixed first time. I'll show you that. That's very sort of getting a bit of a shaggy dough there, sort of what you're looking for. Get the dough off my hand. And now we're going to do things the easy way. So as you can see, dough hooks, don't put them in backwards, otherwise your mixer is going to turn them the wrong way and things are not going to work out well. So I was skeptical, believe me, about these bread hooks, and then I tried them. They're pulling it up together and combining all the ingredients, saving you kneading. So I find with these, it's not hard to hold the mixer because, again, the hooks are doing all the work themselves. The hardest part is sort of like pushing it down to keep the hooks into the dough. So I'm just giving a little scrape, getting anything off the edge of the bowl in here. Combined into the central ball. But it has already made a really nice dough ball out of this. And we're starting to get the silky texture to the dough that we're looking for. Okay, take that off. Give it some more. Okay, now that we've got that done, there's one more ingredient we're going to throw in, and that is some creamed butter. And you'll notice after this, same thing as when we kneaded the dough before. Turned in that nice, smooth, silky ball. And it is no longer really sticky. You can pick it up and it's not really sticking to your hands much. That's what you're looking for. It feels warm. What we're going to do now is set that in a warm place, covered, to rise for about 45 minutes. So we'll see you in a bit. It's been, how long has it been? It's been 45 minutes. So we're going to give it a check. It smells very bready in here. And whoa, look at this. Definitely doubled in size. So we're going to pull that away from the sides. Notice I didn't oil the bowl. That is generally something people recommend. You can do that if you're finding it sticking too much. I find oftentimes it doesn't. Oh, and the silkiness of this dough, you can really feel the difference. There's definitely some air in it. We're going to give it the usual roll around to get the center on the outside. I can feel the warmth coming from the center as I roll this out. So we get it to a ball again. Literally, that's all you do. Cover it up. I'm going to let it rest for another 35 minutes. Yeah. And once we put it in the pan, we're going to let it rise again. So triple rise on this bread. Anyway, we'll see you again in a little bit. And once again, the bread has doubled in size. Everything is working perfectly. It's like I've done this before or something. But you're seeing how simple it is to do this. So there's your dough. And you're going to feel it's nice. You can feel it's airy and soft and silky. So what we're going to do now is weigh this out for the next step. And we're going to want 280 grams per hunk. $253, pretty close. Didn't do it perfect. I don't do this enough, obviously. 267. 278.8. That's close enough for me. So the nice thing about this is when you've got to this stage, you can pop it in a bag and freeze it, which I'm going to do with some of these because I'm not going to make all my loaves of bread today. I think that's kind of small for a loaf of bread. We'll get there. Anyway, so we're putting these aside. That is light, I think. 282, right on the money. Now, you're not going to get 280 grams twice out of what's left. 264. 289, come on. 282.8, close enough. Okay, so this is the one that is going to be for the bread dough. What is left over won't be 280. I think this is going to be about 250. 246.7, so it'll be about 250. So that's not quite enough for the size of bread we're making, so I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to use that to be pizza dough. Yeah, bread dough, pizza dough, same thing. So I'll make a pizza with that in a couple of days. I think I already showed you how to make pizza, so I'm just not going to record that. But there you go. So these ones are just going to go in the freezer. Well, those two are. This one's going to go in the fridge because pizza tomorrow. So now you're wondering, well, what are you going to do with this? And what's that strange stuff that's on here? First, we'll turn the scale off. Thank you. So this here is what we're going to make the bread in. It's got a lid, non-stick. It's about, I think it's like a little over 4 inches square. I don't know the metric offhand. If you look this up, I will definitely put a link to the one I got in the description below. But it's bread tin with a lid. I think it's also called a Pullman. And so what we're going to need, even though it is non-stick, is just a little hunk of butter. I'm going to rub on the insides to grease a bit. Like I said, it's non-stick, and this just sort of helps, and the bread should just fall right out. Wipe down there. Don't forget to do the lid. So you have two options here. You can either cook it and put the lid on and get a completely square loaf of bread, which is actually perfect size for sandwiches, pretty much. Or you can leave the lid off. And instead of square shape, get what Kitchen Princess Bamboo refers to as the mountain shape. So now that I've got that on there, I'm just gonna grab a bit of paper towel, give it a nice even coating. Not wiping it off, still in there, so it's still slicked up, but it's not. It's nice and more even coating. So now we're going to prepare the bread. So, just gonna sprinkle a bit of flour down here to make sure it doesn't stick to the counter. Pop that down. Grab the rolling pin. I'm aware rolling pin is not the first thing that comes to mind when you see this, but that's what it is. Again, I got this off Amazon. I'm going to roll this out till it is about a centimeter or so thick. So once we got it like that, I'm going to fold the top down, then fold the bottom up. Turn it 90 degrees and roll it. Like so. When we get to the end, pinch that a little bit to seal it. That seal goes to the bottom, and you're going to put it into the bread pan, like so. And now what we're going to do is we're going to leave this to rise again until it gets just about a centimeter from the top of the pan. So we'll set that aside, let it rise. We'll be back in a bit for the next step. It is now risen up to about a centimeter from the top. So I'm going to slide on the lid and pop that into a preheated to 392 degrees Fahrenheit oven for 35 minutes. Eyes on the prize, do not burn yourself on the oven. And in 35 more minutes, we'll come back and check on it. I will admit that I might have missed setting the timer by a minute or two, so hopefully this didn't get burned. There, no, it did not. And because we greased it and it's non-stick, it will just slide right out. We'll leave that to cool. There you go. Shokupan. It takes a little bit of time with the rising and the rising and the rising and then the cooking. But very good. I know what you want. I know what you want. And believe me, it is tempting, so I will. Because bread just out of the oven is obviously always so tasty. Oh, it's so fluffy. It's very hard to cut because it's also very hot. You can see the steam. Ow. Ow. There we go. See the steam coming off that? Yes, you can. Fresh homemade bread. Didn't take a lot of time. You might have some time in your hands. And if you can't find any in the store, you can always do it this way. So good. See you next time.